We are all experiencing an unprecedented time in our lives right now. The level of uncertainty, anxiety, and fear can be overpowering as we learn to navigate in our new world, all doing our part, whether it be social distancing, staying home, and abiding by federal guidelines. There are so many on the front lines who are battling a war against an invisible enemy. Being on the front lines can place a person's physical and mental health in jeopardy. A team of professionals has come together and created a program called Resilient Minds on the Front Lines to bring tools, knowledge, skills, and instruction to assist in a time of need. This team is dedicated to helping those who help others. On today's webcast, our guest speaker is Michele Freeman, Chief of Public Safety for the City of Las Vegas and Master Resiliency Instructor. Chief Freeman talks to us about the importance of connecting yourself to others and how to become more resilient through our connections. Your hosts for today's webcast are Chief Resiliency Officer for Mercer County, New Jersey, and Master Resiliency Instructor Michael Pellegrino, and Joe Collins, retired Police Chief from Two Rivers, Wisconsin, Master Resiliency Instructor, and Strategic Account Manager for Acadia Healthcare.
Resilient Minds on the Front Lines was created to bring you 15 minutes of hope in a world turned upside down. The topics in our webcasts are all meant to help those on the front lines help themselves and others. Today, Chief Michele Freeman stresses the importance of connecting to ourselves and others, and how building relationships can make a person become more resilient. Be safe, be healthy, be resilient.
Hi everybody, I feel privileged to be here connecting with you on Resilient Minds on the Front Lines. My name is Michele Freeman, and I work at the City of Las Vegas Department of Public Safety. I've been fortunate enough to be working here for the last 28 years. The last 9 of those 28 years have been sitting in the chief's seat. Well, our topic today is going to be something that's going to be really valuable to hear. It's going to be focusing on connection and why is connection important and how does it relate to resiliency? Well, connection is incredibly important, and it's definitely a key component on resiliency and maintaining resiliency. What does that mean? What is connection? How do we define connection? So for me, how I define connection is this: I look at it as a bridge. I see this bridge from point A to point B, and that's my life bridge. And through my entire life, I'm going to go ahead and journey and make different connections. I'm going to have personal connections with myself. I'm going to have connections with other people. I'm going to have connections with ideas. And I'm going to have connections with my own memories that are all going to build into my happiness of life. And by keeping these memories tight, and by keeping these memories and ideas and my connection to myself and other people constantly on the forefront of my mind, I'm going to be able to be a healthier me. I'm going to develop, and even though we know with resiliency, we're all going to get hit down a couple of times during life, right? Things are going to happen. But the beauty of it is, the more we practice and build on our resiliency muscle, we're going to be able to get up quicker and be more resilient. And through building relationships, we can connect better. So, David Horsager, he is somebody I love to look at for the topic of connections. He has written this book called The Trust Edge. And philosophically, he believes that there are these pillars. And one of his pillars is actually the connection pillar. What does that mean? It means about establishing connection with other people so that you can have these relationships, build these trusting relationships so that you can move through life and be connected, stay connected, be trusted. For me, the foundation of anything in life, any relationship we have, it doesn't matter who the relationship is with. It's building a trusting relationship for a more valuable and healthy relationship. So that's really important. So let me tell you a story when I was going to promote. So years ago, one of my supervisors at the time said to me, go make your rounds, go connect, go speak to people. And I'm like, look, people know who I am. They were talking about other supervisors. People know who I am. My work ethic has been the same since I've been here. Why do I need to go ahead and connect or build these relationships? I didn't realize at the time that it was building these relationships. So fast forward in the story, I look back and I'm able to say, what I was doing wasn't just kind of kissing up to people, so to speak. That's how I interpret it as my younger self. I was building relationships to get connection so that we can have stronger relationships and people can get to know me better and feel me as a person, as a human being, and have that communication, which is so utterly important. So that's my first story. Second story I have for you in regards to connection. Prior to COVID-19, prior to this space that we're all sitting in right now, I went out on one of my days off and I ran quickly to Whole Foods. Why did I go there? I just wanted to get a shake. So I wanted to run in quick and then leave quickly so I could go through my day and get all my errands done. I run in and I go to the counter and I order my shake and smoothie, whatever it was at the time, and I could feel somebody that was standing pretty close to me, a little bit closer than I would typically want somebody to be standing to me, right? In my physical space. So I could feel them, and as soon as I was done ordering, I turned to the side and I recognized this elderly man. He was 80 plus years old, almost 90 years old. He did tell me his age. And he was right there, and he had already ordered, and he was waiting and watching me. He says, "Is that your favorite shake?" And I said to him, "It might be my new favorite shake because I've never had it before." So he starts talking to me and we're engaging in this connection. We're building this relationship and connecting. He says to me after I get my drink, "Would I like to sit down and speak with him?" I don't know this gentleman. I know that I have a lot of things on my to-do list, right? That I do know. But he asks me to join him. And I said, okay. So about an hour and a half to 2 hours later, I learned such incredible wisdom from this connection that I made. He allowed me to learn from him a few things. One, that he lives by himself. His beautiful bride of over 60 years had died several years back. He remains in the house. He loved the house, and he loved being connected to the memories that this house stood for. He told me that his daughter couldn't get it. She didn't understand why he wanted to stay in this house all alone, and most of the time he stayed alone. He didn't go out. He didn't frequent a lot of communication and make a lot of connections from her view. He was telling me that he had done so much in his life, and what was important for him now is one day a week at this particular time, he goes to Whole Foods to make connections with people that he doesn't know. He speaks to them and he learns about them and he shares wisdom and they share wisdom back. It was a beautiful thing, right? She couldn't understand why he wanted to be alone. He had his own space in his house, his memories from a lifetime with his wife, that he was able to cherish, and he called his sacred space. That didn't stop him from having a great, healthy connection with himself, with his wife, with the memories, and with other people. What a great thing for me to take away. So now, that leads us to where we are today. Let's talk about this place that we're calling social distancing. So, when people say social distancing, it's not all for all of us, or it's not, the same for all of us. We are in the same space, but not feeling exactly the same and not doing exactly the same. And I would offer you this. Let's not call it social distancing. Let's call it physical distancing and social connection. We need to make sure we stay connected during this time. We need to make sure we stay connected with ourselves, with other people. The way that we can stay connected with ourselves are ways like this. We can read a book, we can self-meditate, we can do things that are mindful to stay in a healthy space, we can think about things that we're grateful for, we can watch movies to take us back in time to remember, wow, this is a movie I used to watch with whomever. I know that I have a movie that every time I see this movie, it takes me back to my father. Every time I watch this movie, I'm with my father. And we don't have to be in the same room to be connected. We have this connection that will never leave because we've watched this movie together and now distance, but stayed connected together all of these years as we fast forward. We can do so many things to stay connected with ourselves, to stay grounded, and to stay healthy. We can also stay connected with others. How do we do that? We can stay connected with others in so many different ways. We can do some of the same things that we would do with ourselves, right? We could literally read a book with somebody that's across the world. We can have a book in our hands, they can have the same book, we can read it together, and then we can discuss it. We're so fortunate to be on this platform of social media, to have technology, to have all these different ways to connect when there's distance that separates us, but we can stay socially connected. So we can be able to have this book, read it, and then discuss it. We can watch a movie together and be apart. We can do so many things from a distance and still stay connected. Nowadays, what are we doing? We're doing this thing called quarantinis. We can have a drink, and I'm not offering necessarily an alcoholic drink, but we could have a cup of coffee and be tuned in on a visible platform with one another, someone across the state, across the country, or across the world. It's awesome. So even though we're in this different space, it doesn't mean that we can't continue to be innovative and grow. We are in the lands of opportunity right now, and that's what makes this connection piece so important. We can look at it in so many different platforms, and it's so wonderful. One of the things that I love to use for connection is this book. It's called One Word That Will Change Your Life. It is by John Gordon. He is a co-author of this book. He's a motivational speaker, and he's also an author, as I just said. This book basically does three things. What do I need to do? What's in my way? What needs to go? It talks about these things. You tap it out, basically. You answer those questions to yourself. And then you go ahead and you get this one word for the year. It keeps you going. It keeps you focused. You can do it individually or you can do it with your family. It's awesome. This year, my word is transformation. And I love it. I'm staying connected with transformation. I hope that I've connected with you and I've provided you a takeaway. Some of the examples are reading books, mindfulness exercises, and speaking to others. I offer you a challenge. Act now. Don't wait for this challenge. Do something today, right now, to connect with someone else. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay resilient, and stay connected. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Joe Collins, and I'm extremely proud to be part of the team here at Resilient Minds on the Frontlines. Today, I want to thank Chief Michele Freeman for her presentation on the significance and the importance of connection and how connection can actually be critical in the development and the maintenance of our own personal resilience. Michele talked about several different types of connection, one being obviously the connection with others, the people that we surround ourselves, the people that we interact on a day-to-day basis, and how connecting with them through relationship development can actually be very important for our own personal resilience and actually for others to be able to develop their resiliency skills. She also talked about connecting with self, how the self-exploration and the self-development of your own personal resilience can actually make you a stronger person. And actually, it will help you to provide better skills and resources to others around you. She talked about connecting with our memories. The past helps us develop our resiliency skills and actually connects us with those people that have built us and made us stronger through our lives. And she also talked about connecting with our own ideas to help us to develop our resiliency. Michele also shared many stories with us today about her own journey and the connections that she's made through those different situations that she's been involved with. She helped explain why it is very important in one particular story where she met the elderly gentleman at Whole Foods, that when your to-do list is too full, sometimes you don't take the time to make the connections and relationships that are critical for your own personal development and to help others that are around you. What we need to make sure is that we actually pause and be present, because those type of relationships and those connections can and will happen at any time. It's often through these storytellings and these developments of relationships that we help others to build their own personal resiliency. Michele went on to discuss a book called The One Word That Will Change Your Life by John Gordon. Michele actually presented this book to me in 2018 while we were teaching a class in California. I've used this book now for the past 2 years to find my word. Last year it was purpose. Once I decided what my word was, I started seeing it everywhere. and it helped me to focus on what my purpose was for last year. This year, my word is gratitude, and I see gratitude everywhere. The blessings, the good things that are happening in my life, and I share my gratitude with many people every single day. Michele went on to explain that this book actually will ask you 3 different questions to help with your own personal self-discovery. The first question, what do I need to do? What steps are required for me to be who I truly want to be? The next question is, what's in my way? That's what are obstacles? What are the obstacles that are preventing me from being or achieving my goals? And the final question is, what needs to go? How and what do I need to remove from my life to be the better me? Again, I want to thank Michele for her lesson today, and especially for her defining the difference between physical and social distancing. I feel that it's quite unfortunate that we tagline this whole situation that we're in with the word social distancing when social connection is actually the most important thing, and physical distancing is something that we need to be able to do to protect ourselves and others. And I want to thank her again for defining and explaining the differences between those. Michele left us with a challenge today to stay connected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to that challenge. And I'm going to ask you this question. Who are you supposed to be connecting with today? If you're a person that actually creates to-do lists and needs to have that structure in your daily life, I'm asking you to add something to your list. Add the word connection and put a big question mark behind it. You will never know who you need to connect with on a day-to-day basis unless you leave space in your life to make that happen. As Matt Cannon says in his song, make the call, stay connected, so that you can decide who you need to meet today and who needs to meet you. And if you're willing to share those stories with us so that we can all stay connected based on storytelling, go to our Facebook page of Resilient Minds on the Frontlines or to our website onthefrontlines.us and share your stories of connection. And always remember every single day to be safe, be healthy, be resilient. And thank you, Michele, for reminding us today that we need to be connected. Have a fantastic day.
As you can see, the team we have assembled for Resilient Minds on the Front Lines is impressive. Experts from various fields will be contributing to each program. In addition, we believe music is medicine. A good friend, Matt Cannon, country music singer and songwriter, wrote a very moving song a few years ago named The Call. Matt believes strongly in Resilient Minds on the Front Lines and has given us permission to include his incredible video in this program. The message is, no matter how hard life may seem, there is always hope, and making one phone call can drastically change a life forever. Thank you for joining us. We are here to help those on the front lines help themselves and others. For more information, you can visit us online at onthefrontlines.us. We will continue to bring you 15 minutes of hope in a world turned upside down. Thank you.
Today was gonna be the day. He'd already wrote the note and parked that Chevrolet at the end of that dead-end road. Had his finger on the trigger, just about to end everything. He was taking one last long breath when he heard his cell phone ring. And his best friend said, "Man, where you been? We're heading down to the lake this weekend. You better not miss it, 'cause buddy, I swear it won't be the same if you ain't there." And I told that girl that you liked so much, you were coming along and her eyes lit up. I better let you go. Man, I really hope I didn't catch you in the middle of anything. He said you kinda did, but I don't mind at all. I'm glad in another town down the road, in the backseat of a car. 2 18-year-olds had let a kiss go too far. He said, how we gonna have this child when we're both headed off to school? He convinced her late one night, there's only one thing to do. She was scared to death in that waiting room when the nurse asked, how far along are you? She said 5 weeks, and just about then her phone lit up and his call came in saying, baby, I was wrong about everything. I've already bought you a diamond ring. We're gonna start a life. Would you be my wife? Boy or girl, pink or blue, yeah, either way. All she could say as she felt those teardrops fall, I'm so glad you called. If someone you know is weighing on your mind and needs a friend on the other end of the line, don't hesitate. What you say may seem so small, but who knows? They might be glad you called. So make the call. Yeah, make that call.
During the COVID-19 pandemic crisis, your mental health is vital. Please see the resources listed here as well as on our website at onthefrontlines.us. You are not alone.